right, we're in New Orleans. It's the 99th AGC. It's going to be awesome. We're going to get after it all day here. There's a whole ton to see and do, so let's get in there. Watch and build, baby. All right, well, we're here with Builderbox. This is the AGC 99th year convention. How are you doing today?
Doing great. I'm very happy to be here on the Centennial celebration. This is a big show.
So for our audience out there, what is Builderbox?
Well, in short, Builderbox is a production control platform and project management system. We're a cloud-based solution, and it's a smarter way to manage your construction projects.
Very cool.
We like to think that it's very people-friendly, very focused on people rather than documents or issues.
Okay, and so it's just it's a web browser, it's an app.
It's a dynamic web app, which means it runs on any browser and any device. There's of course a mobile version of it, but you don't actually need to download or maintain or upgrade anything. It runs anytime that you log in.
Just right in the web browser.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. This is a very exciting time in construction technology, and you guys decided to step into a really crowded field. What was your kind of key motivation for jumping into this area?
You bet. It is a very crowded field, and I'm glad that you asked me that because it feels like we're trying to do what a lot of others are doing, but the reality is we're doing it in a very different way.
Okay.
I would say the key point that I want to make is Builderbox was created by builders, for builders.
Okay.
We were, before getting into the technology space, we didn't say there's a huge problem in the industry and we want to go solve it. We said we have problems building, we need tools that we're not finding, let's go create them. And what came out of that is Builderbox.io. At some point we decided this is actually a marketable product, and we decided to put it out there in the market. Okay, so it sort of evolved as something that you guys came up with and started using, and then you kind of realized, hey, this is something. Absolutely. We actually got started at an AEC hackathon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the second ever AEC hackathon was at Menlo Park, California, at the Facebook headquarters, and that's where I met Vishal, my co-founder, and he told me what he had been working on and what his challenges were. I said what my challenges were, and we started collaborating. And what came out of that hackathon is something we both used at our projects at work and let other friends and colleagues use. And it evolved from there.
Cool. So with technology, a really interesting thing is when an unintended consequence or an unintended benefit comes out of something. Have you guys found something like that with your users where they've found a novel or creative use for your software that wasn't intended?
I don't know that it was not intended, but because we certainly have the feature in it. But one of the things, and for me, somebody who for nearly 25 years I've been very focused on VDC and on the 3D aspect. I always tell the story, the first project I ever fully modeled with every nut and bolt was in 1994. Oh wow. So I get really excited about our meeting minutes feature. And I believe that meeting minutes is kind of a lost art. Most people use a template that they don't really have to think too much about. Consequently, they don't think too much about the meeting. They don't think too much about the content. Our meeting minutes module was something that was almost like, well, we have to have this in here. But we built some features in there, like the ability to promote a action item to a task that you can assign to somebody, you can assign a due date, you can then track and have a conversation about the task within that context. It's made the feature so much more powerful. And I'd like to say that people are kind of going back to properly managing meetings. We have, in this industry, we've got tons of meetings that go nowhere.
So we're using technology to get back to something that we used to do good with a pen and paper, but now it's gotten lost in a lot of applications because technology makes it too easy in a way.
Well, the fundamentals of construction haven't changed. Right. You still have to dig a hole in the ground and put a building up.
That's right.
And technology is not a substitute for that. Builderbox is very modular. You don't have to buy into the whole thing. You can use just a few modules, and the pricing is such that you don't feel too bad if you turn some things off, right? So we're pushing people in that direction. I have myself personally, even though my background is in architecture and construction, I have a passion for manufacturing. I I love airplanes and cars, so I've always looked at PLM and what companies like Boeing and BMW were doing.
Right.
And I've been lucky to work on projects.
And we can learn a lot from manufacturing.
Exactly.
I mean, they're way ahead of us in terms of productivity.
So some of our production control features, like the resource tracking, like the material tracking and vendor dashboards, are really meant to address the issues of lead times when it comes to procurement.
Right.
But we can do a lot of what PLM does.
Okay. Awesome. So, I mean, I think that really naturally leads us into talking about transparency and pricing.
Absolutely.
Was that a hard decision for you guys to make? Because I don't think anyone else is doing it.
It wasn't a hard decision for me to make.
Okay.
I think that I was advised against it.
Yeah.
I was told you shouldn't put your pricing on the website, but again, to that point of me coming from the industry as an end user, the biggest challenge I ever had deploying technology on a job site or on a project was not necessarily that it was too expensive.
Right.
It's that I couldn't figure out what that pricing was going to be until it was way too late.
Right.
And then you can't put another line item on the budget. So that was actually a really top priority for me.
So it's just if you know how much it costs, you can plan that and you can put that in and you can use it, but otherwise you just miss your opportunity.
Absolutely. I mean, it's by the time that you have the budget set, it's really difficult to include any kind of line item in there.
Okay.
A big part of that for us is the fact that we don't charge anything for outside collaborators.
Right.
So you know how many people work for you, and you probably know how many people you're planning on hiring over the next year or so. But anybody else that comes onto the project, if your team needs to scale for whatever reason, you can do that absolutely easy. We're also finding ourselves, because of the way that our philosophy of integration, of being part of a stack of technology, we've very naturally become the hub for information and are able to integrate into other platforms. So owners that are working with multiple contractors are being able to say, well, I'd like the reporting to me to be done in Builderbox, but all those other entities, regardless of the platform they use, they want the information in that platform.
Yes.
So we can push the information back out of Builderbox to them.
And is that like complicated? Is that a huge extra charge, or how do they do that?
It's not complicated. It depends a little bit on what the system is, whether it's something that's web based and it's a pretty standard REST API, or if it's more of a legacy application with something like a .NET backend, it's a little bit harder. Okay. But yeah, those things tend to be customized.
Or my boss's old notebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I will say though that it's beyond the ROI. I think that regardless of what technology you decide to use, to manage complex project information through email and Excel spreadsheets,
which is what we've done for years.
It's a little bit like saying the last 15 years of technology advancements have not occurred.
Right. Yeah.
That cell phone in my pocket, that iPhone X that I just bought, doesn't exist.
Right.
And it doesn't apply to me. That's what you're saying if you're choosing not to deploy something.
This has been great today, David. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd really like to thank you guys for coming out to the AGC show here, and I hope that you're getting for your viewers a lot of gret content out here.
We sure are.
Important show.
We're really lucky to be here.
I feel like a king, 'cause I just kissed my babe. And money don't mean a thing to me, no, 'cause I just kissed.
Watch him build. Hey guys, Aaron right here. We had a great time at the 99th Annual AGC Convention in New Orleans. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Builderbox, for inviting us to be here. We made a lot of contacts, a great time spreading the word about what we do at the Construction Channel. So stay tuned and watch and build.